and I just wanted to talk to you about a few things that I've been noticing and we've been hearing about the pandemic and how people are reacting and their thoughts on it. Please join and let me know what you think if there's anything that you have personally been experiencing. I want to go through a few other things as everyone feels like there's a slowdown or there's a stop in hiring, but that's not necessarily fully true. Like, yes, while things have had to take a different kind of turn, that doesn't mean that things are stopping. When I was at Genentech, like, yes, we did slow down, we did stop all the on-site interviews, but we switched things around a bunch, so you have to start doing a bunch of video interviews and actually talking to a couple of different members in different groups already today. Yes, they'd had on-site interviews that did get canceled, but did their interviews get canceled completely? No, they actually got switched to on-site ones or video ones. They took the on-site and they're now video interviews. And so one of the members is actually preparing for a video interview with 5 scientists next week. These are the sort of things that you want to go over and like get yourself prepared for. Like, people treating this like a vacation, but it's not really a vacation. Now is the time to actually show that you're an industry professional and that you can actually pivot and modify like needed. This is one of those skills that actually will really value you while you're in how the topic is going to change. It's going to go over and going to move around rapidly, and you need to be able to adapt and change with it. So instead of sitting home and watching the Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus, you want to go over and actually start trying to do a bunch of other things to help promote yourself and to put yourself on top of this list, because members are going over and having these video interviews, and so you want to get yourself ready for these as well. How are you going to do this? You're going to continue going through the modules, and you're going to continue going through modifying your resume. You're going to continue going through and updating your LinkedIn, because people are going to go over and see this because they have a lot more time on their hands. They're going to be online as well because most of the stuff, when those industries are closed, not all of them are, just some of those, like specifically here within the Bay Area, we've gone over and started to go basically all virtual. But in other sections, people are still treating it as day to day. They're still going into the labs, they're still going into their industry jobs, and they're still doing those interviews. They're still hiring. And so you want to go through and get yourself ready for this as well. Well, you're going to have to do a lot of different things. You just got to make sure you get yourself more comfortable being on camera instead of going through and doing it on site. You're going to still potentially be doing presentations, just now going to be you sharing a screen. So you're going to want to try and test these things out. You want to get yourself ready so that you can see actually what is going on and how you are prepared for this as well. So again, remember to go through and keep working through the modules, updating your resume, updating your LinkedIn, and networking and connecting with people. People are going to need to have more and more of that social interaction that they're craving. Those people who are locked away are going to want to talk with others. They're going to want to see you on a camera. They're going to try and change from that normal phone talk to something on a video so they can actually see another human being. These are things that you want to get yourself ready for and prepared. So you want to go over and make sure you can test that you have a professional looking area that you can sit in front of, get yourself comfortable at, or standing desk or whatever type of setup you want to go that makes you the most comfortable. But then going over and having a nice background, being able to see that you're fitting within the screen well, that you can actually share your presentation online if you're going to be needing to do that, so that you can do these virtually. So this is one of the things you want to keep going over and practicing these. You can go over and meet with other members to do this. You can meet with people here as well. And these are the sort of things that you want to go through. See, Henry, I'm afraid to get on a plane to move to a new country. Yes, this is a valid concern, and you do need to make sure, depending on where you're going and what you're doing, that borders aren't closed, because sometimes within different areas, and this is changing daily, whether or not they'll allow you to do that or not, the industries are prepared for this as well. They're getting ready for it, and they understand that. Why they're slowing down and stopping some of those on-site ones and switching to doing the online interviews with people. So instead of having to go through and prepare yourself to potentially travel to someplace, you're going to want to go over and prepare yourself to do it online instead. The slow down eventually with the pandemic and everything, going over, will eventually change. There will be more flights. People will still be immigrating and moving to other countries and other places. Just as of right now, everyone is kind of just trying to figure out everything as it's going through. Like, yes, there is a lot of like uncertainty, and while we try and figure out this uncertainty, we want to go through and put you at the top of that list. We want to make sure that you are ready and prepared to be that person that gets that hired initially. Because while they're not necessarily doing the interviews on site now, they're going to still be bringing you in. They're still preparing to bring people in for the summer and the fall. They're still interviewing you because while they're going to go through these interviews, they're not going to necessarily maybe have you come in next week and start, so they're preparing themselves out, getting these things all ready. And so you want to get yourself prepared and ready as well. Um, like Desiree, thank you for joining. No, there's not a hiring freeze. It's just sort of a little bit of a slowdown with certain companies in certain areas, but no, there is not a freeze. They're not stopping these hires. They're just changing the way they're doing this. And so there's been a little bit of a slowdown as companies are trying to adapt. That's the thing, is you have to adapt as well. So you want to go over and get yourself ready to change the way that it's going to be presented, yourself and the company. So instead of preparing yourself to do an on-site one, they're going to be doing these virtually and via videos. So, talking to other members, they went over and had on-sites that have gotten switched to being a presentation online. So these are the sort of things that you need to get yourself ready for and prepared for as well. So you want to go through and instead of working on your stature and pose in front of a group of people, you want to be able to now work on your stature and your pose on a camera. So these are the things you want to go through and just get yourself ready for and prepared for. And again, instead of like practicing your power stance in front of a mirror, practice your power stance in front of your camera, in front of your computer, so that you can then see yourself on the camera and see how you are. You want to go through and make sure that you're positioned on the camera so that your head's near the top. I should probably actually be a little bit closer myself, that they can see your hands. You're just going to exaggerate your motions a little bit because people aren't going to be able to see that in person. So you want to go through and make sure that it's, you're going to be in a camera, you're going to be set up. So you're just going to go over and work on presenting yourself there. A great way is doing a video of yourself, presenting a little 5-minute elevator speech, talk as if you would be talking to someone there, talking through your presentation, doing these things and then posting them to get yourself ready and prepared for this as well. These are the things that you want to go through. You don't want to go home and then just sit in your PJs and, think that, okay, I just have to wait this out. No, you don't want to be waiting it out. You want to go through and get yourself ready so that you are still being interviewed, you are still going through, and you still are on people's mindset. Because while a lot of people are doing that, there's been a huge uptick in the number of, Netflix views that have been going on. This is not the time that you need to be doing that as well. Now is the time that you want to go through and you want to be still acting like an industry professional. You still want to be going over and doing your work, reading articles, keeping up to date on what's going on. Science is still happening, at least within my field of R&D, but I know this is still happening within all the different industries. And this is the thing that you need to get yourself ready for and understanding. You don't want to go over and buy into the mindset that everything is just at hold. It's not at hold. The world is not completely shut down. More so than now, everyone's seeing the value of a lot of these PhDs. These are the people that are pushing science, that are pushing the potential cures, that are pushing the innovation, and all of the PhDs, these are the people that they want and they need, and you need to go through and keep that momentum up. You need to keep it in there and keep going. I can adapt, I can change, and these are the things that you need to do. Industry is not going to be like in your academic career, focus single task. Thing is like, while I was at Gen and Tech, we would go through and we'd have to pivot all the time. All of a sudden, we've got a new target. It's really, promising. So switching over, slow down all the rest of these experiments in here. Focus on this compound and this target because this is something that we actually can, potentially get out there and actually help and cure people quickly. So these are things you just need to be able to, prepare yourself to be able to pivot. And this is just a different way of doing that. Instead of actually going through and saying, okay, I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to relax, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to wait this out. No, you don't want to be waiting it out. You want to get yourself out there and ready and prepared. And these are things. Continue working on doing that resume and that LinkedIn, because these are how people are going to start seeing you. They're going to see you on your LinkedIn profile because now they're having a lot more time to go through and peruse, network with the people on there, provide them value, talk with people, prepare to go over and try and ask them to do video interviews and chats and informational interviews. Ask them what they're doing on their day to day. Ask if they're working from home, if they're still working in the lab. If they're working from home, how is that going? Because everyone's going to have to do things a little bit different. People who have kids, they're having to figure out how to take care of them because schools might be shut down while like the company might not be. So people have been working from home, but still having people times to go in the lab. But now they've got to figure out how to work with their kids who are there as well. Just ask them about the things, provide them a value. Again, I always say you don't go through into that network and you're not asking people to give you a job. You're providing them a value so that they remember you, so that they know who you are, and they're going to go over and be like, oh, I remember Desiree, I remember Samuel, I remember Henry because they actually were the people that went over and actually did something and helped me in my time of need as well. While I was sitting there and I wasn't interacting with people, they came and they interacted with me. These are those sort of things that people need and like and want, and you're helping them, you're providing them a value, and so they're going to remember you and they're going to be like, oh, I had a chat with them. Let's go over and do a video interview with them. These are the sort of things you want to keep going and working on and preparing yourself for. So go over, get yourself situated, figure out, find yourself a spot in your house if you are sequestered or quarantined in your house, and say, where am I going to be doing my interview? Where am I going to get myself prepared? Go through and test out doing some videos, work on your resume, work on your LinkedIn, and network. It's still going on. They're still hiring. It's just switching around the way that it's being done. And you want to go over and be able to switch away around and be prepared for the way these are doing now. Now go. Again, everybody, remember your value as a PhD and start thinking and acting like an industry professional. Continue to do that. All right. See you guys.